So to use Tailwind CSS in your HTML project, there are a couple of things that you need to have installed in your system or a local environment. The first one is Node.js, because Tailwind is an NPM package, and NPM depends on Node.js. You'll also need a text editor. For my case, I'm using Visual Studio Code. Then we need the documentation, the Tailwind documentation. I'll leave the link in the description of this video. So let's go to the desktop and create a folder that is going to house the project. I'll just name it Tailwind. Then the first thing is opening the Visual Studio, new window. Then let's wait for it to open. It's open. Then minimize, go to the desktop and drag our folder to this space and wait for it to open. So let's just close this. We navigate to the terminal at the top. Terminal tab, the new terminal. Then we are going to initialize a new Node.js project by typing npm init space -y. This is going to create a package.json for us. It has done that already. And then we can go to the Tailwind installation instructions. And they're saying that the first thing is to install Tailwind. So these are the commands. We are going to copy this one, first one, then paste it on the terminal, then enter. Let's just wait for it to install the Tailwind. It's going to take a minute or less. Yeah, I think it's installed already. So we move to the next command, which is this one here, to initialize the Tailwind CSS, which is going to create tailwind.config.js for us. So let me clear this terminal by just writing clear, enter, because I have a git bash integrated in my Visual Studio, but it's not a requirement for this case. So we have just copied this command here and we paste it there, then hit enter, and it's going to create the tailwind.config.js. It did that already, so this is the tailwind.config.js file. Let me just bring it down here. Then we move to the next instructions, which is to edit this tailwind.config.js. The content section, we have to add this text, so let's copy this, then go to the content, delete that, and then paste what we have copied, then save. Next step is add the Tailwind directives for each Tailwinds layer to your main CSS file. So any CSS file that you want to be your main one, they're saying that for their case, their main CSS file is in src folder, and then the name of the CSS file is input. We are going to follow this so that we don't divert away from their instructions. So let's create an src folder here in the root directory, just in this blank space, new folder, then create the source folder or src, then right click on that source folder, then create a new file, call it input .css. Then we need to copy this code and paste it there. So Control V, then save it, Control S. The next is to run the CLI tool to scan your template for classes and build your CSS. So assuming that we have our template now, or our index.html, which it suggested that we create on SRC. We need to have the index.html on inside this SRC folder that we have created, which is also in the same directory as this input.css. So let's first go to this SRC, right click the new file, index.html. So this is our index.html file. So we can have all our HTML files here. Then we can just create a boilerplate for an HTML. So let me just go back. If you are using Visual Studio Code, just Shift 1 or write an exclamation like that, then hit enter, and that boilerplate will be generated. So after you've done that, we need to run this command, this one, on the terminal, but we are not going to run it the way they have instructed, because every other time we close our project and we want to open it later, we shall need to look for this command and type it again, and it's difficult to remember this. So what you're going to do, just copy it and go to your package.json. Inside the scripts, just create another line here, but make sure you have a comma, then double quotes, then call it dev or any name that you want. For my case, I'm going to call it development, then double quotes again, and inside this copy the code, which is this one here. Just click on that and it will be copied, or highlight if you feel like highlighting. It's all the same. Then Control C to copy, then inside this double quotes, Control V to paste, then paste it like that. Then in your terminal, just write npm run dev. Those are 3 words. Npm run dev. We are now running this script. So every other time you open your project, you open the terminal, then npm run dev, and it will start watching the changes you'll be making on the index.html. So let's hit enter. And you can see that npx is rebuilding, and the warning is that it has not detected any source files. So we haven't written any tailwind code inside here. We need to first link the CSS file that it generates. When we ran this command here, it generated a dist folder, this one, and inside the dist folder it generated an output.css, and this output.css is going to be the CSS that we are linking to our HTML. So even if you go to the example HTML that they have this link. So just copy this link and paste it here. That. So we are linking dist, then output.css. Then we can go ahead and start writing the tailwind classes. So let's have an h1, then call this test. Let's give a class like text. Let's give the text a color, so text red, 600. Then we save it. When we save it, you realize that it's rebuilding and it's done in 42 microseconds. If you open this output.css and scroll to the bottom, you'll realize that that class is created for us. It's here, text red 600, and it gives that color. So anytime you write the Tailwind CSS classes in your elements, those classes will be generated in this output.css. Let's just test it out. Let's have a paragraph and give it a class, and we want the background color, so BG blue. Maybe let's pick 500 and save. Let's give this test2 like that and save. It is going to rebuild. You can see we have a BG blue 500 generated for us. Now to run this you need a live server, so just move to this section here for extensions in these icons. There is this icon here, just click on it and it will open the extension search. So just search for live server, like that, and it's this extension here. I have it installed already in my system, so the way you do it, you'll find an install button active here, so you just click on it and it will be installed. Then the other extension that you'll need is Tailwind IntelliSense, which is this one here. Install it. The advantage of this is that whenever you're writing your code, it gives you the suggestions. Let me have an H2, and I'm giving it a class. For this H2, I want the text to be 3XL. So if I just write 3, I mean text size, I want it to be 3XL. You see it's giving me these suggestions, so I can just click on that and it fills that for us. So we can have a test3 here and save it. So I can click on this icon to close the extensions. Then this is my index.html. I have to open it with live server, so I'll just right click on it and it gives me these options. So click on open with live server and it will open in your default browser, and you can see all those classes. Like, let me zoom. The first one has a color of red, the other one has a background of blue, and the other one has a font size which is indicated here. So it's very easy. That's how you integrate Tailwind CSS to your HTML project. And if you want to sign out, you'll just go to your terminal and Control C, and the watching will stop. So right now, if we do any changes, nothing will happen. Let's copy this and paste it here, and maybe give it a background color, so BG green, maybe green 500, like that, and save. So if we save this and go to the browser, you can see it's just an H3. There's no compilation that is taking place. So what we can do is just writing the script that we had created in our package.json, which was dev. So we'll just do npm run dev, and it will start watching our classes when we write on the files. So if I Control S to save this, it is going to rebuild, and if I go to the browser, you'll see that is happening, and it will generate those classes in the output.css. Let me just open that, and you see BG blue, BG green, text 3XL, all those classes will be generated and with their properties. Yeah, I think that is it for this video. See you next time.